Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away and a happy Monday. Today is the start of 5 days of Agora Models. This is Agora Models week today, and what better way to start than doing box 2 of the Porsche 917kh. Telling you, Agora Models week, this week is going to be on fire. Literally, this week is going to be on fire. Apparently today is 40 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that equates to in Fahrenheit. You'll have to do a Google search. And tomorrow is meant to be 40 degrees Fahrenheit as well. So I'm actually filming this at 5:30 in the morning. So this is going to be interesting. So it's nice and cool at the moment and I haven't got the air conditioner on. So you should be able to hear me absolutely fine. Now in pack 2, we're going to start building some more of the engine. As a matter of fact, this whole pack is devoted to the engine of this car. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link in the video description. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So it's all going to start in pack 6 and we're going to be doing the left side of the gearbox and the transmission joint. So I'll just put that all to one side and I want to just give you a close-up of what that's looking like. All metal. Love the colour of this. We're going to be putting the left mounting bracket into place onto this. That looks just like that. And that's just going to go into this section here. There is locating lugs, so it can only go on one way. It's going to go on just like that. It's held in with a BM screw. Now all these engine parts, if you are building this, they are metal. You can hear that as that just fell over there. You're gonna want oil on these. It will make your life a hell of a lot easier when you're screwing things in, and hopefully it will stop blisters on your hands. But there we go, that's that in. Now we're going to be taking the cross piece here because we're going to be making a flexible transmission joint. These can be a little bit funky to put in, so I'm going to try and give you the best way that I do these. Now when you put them in, it's most important that you do make sure that they go in with the sides facing outwards. If you put them in that way, once they're in, you're never going to be able to get them out again to put the other screws in. So make sure that they are outwards. Now they are going to be put in with IM screws. This piece is metal. So what I tend to do is hold it in one hand and keep it on the base here. And then put one IM screw in that way. And don't put it in all the way. Turn it over. Make sure it's lined up in the correct orientation. And then put the second IM screw in the other side. And then once you're happy that they're in, tighten them up. And as you can see, that looks just like that. Now, this joint is going to go onto this bracket here, and that's why I said we need to make sure these ones are open so that they can go in just like that. Once again, we're going to be putting FM screws in each side to hold these in place. I believe these screws are just like the IM ones we had. They're slightly longer. So that's one side, and that's the other side there. So that flexible joint is now in place. Now if you see on this side of that flexible joint, we've got a D-shaped hole. That's just going to go into the inner flex disc here. That's just going to press in D-shaped like that. So it can only go in one way. Held in with an IM screw just from the other side. Tell it's Monday. I can't get my words today. Make that nice and tight. And that should sit in there nice and flush. Looking like that. And then the inner flex disc, looking like that, is just going to go over the top of this. So we just want to align the two bigger holes here, the two bigger holes on here, because they're the screw holes. And they're going to be held in with GM screws. So one this side, and one just on the other side here. So it looks like that. And then on top of it, we've got this bracket here, which has got a dummy sort of like screw in the bottom there. There's only 2 screws we're going to be putting this into. As you can see, we've got 2 holes left. So this is just going to go in like that there. That's held in once again with GM screws. That's a lot of work just to make this transmission joint here. So here's the second one. And there we go. That's all complete. We're going to be putting this on this side of the housing. It's just going to go into the hole in the middle, just like this, and held in from the other side with a flanged CM screw. And there we go. That's in just like that. Now we need the parts that we worked on last time. I believe we did this in the last pack. So we're going to be piecing these together. So holding that this way round, we'll have this one this way round. It's just going to go on top just like that there. So it fits together, looking pretty good. We're going to be securing this in with BM screws. So one just in the end here. And then the other one just into this hole here. Certainly coming together, isn't it? Okay, I believe we did this one in stage 5, but this is the end that we're putting on now. That's just going to go onto the holes over here, and it's going to match pretty much the design on the end there. That's going to be held in with FM screws. So one at the top, 3 of these it's going to take, and then just 2 either side. Now again, in stage 5 we had a bracket which looks just like this. That's going to be going on this way, just onto the end of the engine there. I'm going to line this up just like that there. It's held in with IM screws. So 2 at the top, and then we're going to do 2 just at the bottom there. And there we go. We've put together quite a lot in that stage, but that is all there is to do at this stage. Now in stage 7 here, we've got the right side of the engine block. So I'll get all this out. So I'll put that to one side. We're going to start doing the cylinder tops here. Now these pretty much just go together like this, but one side is metal, the other side is plastic. So we're going to have one looking like that, and the other one looking like that just there. They're just to push in like that. Take out the engine block, which is still in its protective. Everything's wrapped in plastic here. You're not going to get this damaged. And it's this side of the cylinder tops we're interested in, because these are just going to go into the holes that we can see just there like that. They're going to be held in with IM screws. So there's 2 of these to put in. That one's the first, looking like that. The other one's going to go into that hole there. And that's the second one. So that's looking like that. We then got a bracket to put in like that. So holding it this way round, it's just going to go over the top of these sections just here, held in with 3 BM screws. So I'll put 2 in. This is the last one just going in here. That's all 3 of these in place. We then got this center section here to put in. These are both plastics, but we do need to just push these together. So just ensuring that it's round the right way. So it's sitting so it matches like that. This is going to be going into this point just here. So I'm making sure I put it round the right way. You have got a larger lug and a smaller lug to help line that up. This is just going to go in there like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 8, look at all the details we've got in here. We're going to be preparing the oil pump, water pump and the cylinders. So let's get all this out. We've also got some free tweezers. I'll open these out. We're definitely going to need these later on. They look just like this. There you go. And basically we're going to get all of these cylinder tops and we're going to be pushing these together. So they all go in exactly the same way. We've got 2 lugs, 2 holes, push them together, and that's one completed. And we just continue doing that for all the rest of them. Now while I'm finishing these off, it is suggesting that we do glue these together. Mine are going in really tight, but you can glue these. You don't want these breaking apart at a later stage. So for me, I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. I've got my Tamiya quick drying cement here, and all you have to do is just run that along the seams, and the capillary action will pull that into the part so that's not coming off. So you need to do that through all of them. So they're all done. Let's put those to one side. We're going to be making the oil filter now. And that's the base for the oil filter, looking like that. We've got the top to put on. That looks like that. It's just going to go over the top and pushed in. We're then going to be connecting the hoses. So to do that, we need this part that looks just like that here. And we've got 2 hoses to put in either side. Get these out here. The hoses are in their own little bag here. They're going onto the top nipples. So one on that side. And one on this side over here. Now with hoses, I tend to use glue again, because you don't want these falling out. So one there and one there. Because if they fall out when they're all on the engine later on in the build, you're going to be struggling to figure out where they go. So just with a little tiny bit of glue there, they're not going anywhere. Now it does say if they're bent, like these ones are here, just put that in a little bit of hot water, dip that in, the memory system on it will make sure that they go back to normal. So now we've done this, we're going to be piecing it to the end of this section just here. So I'm just lining up the lugs and push this into the holes just like that. And then this whole section here is going to be going onto the right hand side of the engine that we were creating, just into these holes down the bottom here. So that's going to go on just like that. Now we're going to be keeping that in place with one of the flanged CM screws. So that looks like that. Now we're going to start extending this out by putting the other side of the engine that we created just into this section here. So this is going to go over the top. As you can see, we're making one ginormous engine now. And this is going to be held in with 3 BM screws. So one there, one at the bottom here. And then finally just one on the top left. So the engine certainly is coming together now. So we want to keep all of these cylinder tops and the oil filter safe. Just put that over there, because that is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 9, we're going to be attaching the right cylinder head. And as you can see here, we've got a 3 pair of sprue cutters. And I'm going to get these out because we're going to need these straight away, because we are going to be cutting some sprues. You can never have enough 2 sprue cutters, trust me. So this is the top of the cylinder head here, and we're going to be putting the rocker covers either side. So the first one's just going to go in like that. It's held in from the underside here with some EP screws. So that's one, and just one in the other side. Now you can know you line these up okay, because the notch on this should match the notch at the bottom, and you've got 2 notches that you had on the other side which face the inside, pretty much like what we've got on this one here. So in a similar way, this is just going to go on like that there. And that's what the ends look like. So, put these together. And there we go. That's the rocker head covers on. This is where we're going to need the sprue cutters now, because we want to cut off the spark plugs. Now, when we cut them off, we want to make sure that we've cut off the tabs at the bottom as well, because they're the ones that are going to plug these into where they go. So I'll get all of these off the sprue now. And these are going to go in all the holes that you can see in the middle there. And this is a great time now to use the tweezers that they gave us to line these up and just push these into those holes. Just like that. I'll do one more just to show you I wasn't just being lucky there. Line it up and then push that into the hole so it looks like that. Just continue that for all the rest of them. Now once again, if you've got any that are loose, then just use a little bit of this capillary action glue that I've got here. I mean, you can use super glue and just put them in as well, but I'm doing it this way, it's a lot easier. But to be sure for me, I'm just going to be making sure they're all glued in, because I don't want these going anywhere. Excellent. So that's looking like that. We've got some shields to put in. These are in this bag here. And basically we want this top edge. As you see, there's a frame around the top but not the bottom. It's the top edge that we want into these 2 lugs just here. So when we put them in, it's going to go on this way. So this is the end without anything on. It's going to go on, as a matter of fact, so let me put it on first. And then you can see how that's going to go. Just like that. Going to do the same at the other side. This time we've got two smaller pins to put in. Just like that. There you go. And then in the middle here, upside down, we're going to start putting some of these cylinder tops in. So if I'm holding it this way so that the lugs are closer together on my left, we're going to be putting these in with the manifold side here facing me. They're going to go in just like this. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So once they're in, they look like that. You can, if you wanted to, glue these into place. It's not necessary because this is now going to be bolted to this side here. So what we're going to do is we're going to be taking this section that we worked on previously and we're just going to be lining them up so that they fit in just like this. Then we're going to be lining the pins up at the ends as well. So getting these in. It's looking good at the moment. I think I'm happy there. They're going to be held in with IM screws just through the top of this section here. You'll see the 2 holes for this. So one in this side. Here. I have put some oil on this. And then just another IM screw. With a little bit of oil. Just on this one just here. So there you go. How impressive does that look? Okay, now with the oil pipe that's coming out of this side here, we just want to put that onto the end just here like that. Again, I don't want this falling out, so we'll just put a little bit of glue just around the base there. That'll keep that in. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 10 here, get this open, we're going to be assembling and fitting the crankcase top. So we've got quite a lot of things to put together here. So I'm going to start by doing it this way. What we want to do is take this section first, then this section with the spindle, that's the longer spindle, that's going to go down there just like that. On top of that, we've got a cap to put on, which is in this bag, just like this. It's labelled A on mine. I don't know if they're all the same, but that's going to go on to that section just there. Then we've got this part here, looks a bit like a top hat. That's going to be going that way round, which sort of gives the impression that now there's a pulley on there. And then we're going to be securing that with a DP screw. So the DP screw is a flange screw, but that's just going to go into the end just like that. And there we go. Look, we've created one pulley. But we want to hold that in place because obviously that's not attached to that section now. So from the other side here, we're going to be putting in an EP screw. Get that one all the way in. And there you go. That's one pulley complete. We're going to repeat that just for another one. And as if by magic, that's 2 completed. Put them to one side because we're going to make a large pulley now, which means I need to open this other metal section, which looks like that. And at the end, as you can see, I've got a spindle here. What we're going to be doing is putting this large washer on, which says B on it. That's just going to go on the end just there. And pretty much like we did last time, we're going to be putting one of these top hat pieces facing this way. So again, we've made a pulley just on the end there. That's going to be held in with a KM screw. This is a flange screw that's meant for metal. So that's just going in here. And there you go. That looks absolutely perfect. So I want to take one of these alternators now, and as you can see, we've got a locating lug hole there and a screw hole, which is going to be locating that up like this, and that's going to be held in from the underside with an EP screw. So I've got that here. Let's get that all the way in. Make sure that's nice and tight. Perfect. And then at the other side of the crankcase, we're going to be putting the other one in exactly the same way. There you go. Perfect. Now we're going to be putting the oil filter in that we did last time. You see that D shaped right by the pulley there? We're going to be putting that into there. So it's going to go in like that. That's held in with an AP screw. Got one loaded up already here. So get that in. And that's perfect. That looks just like that. Now we're going to be putting this onto the engine that we did last time. So just rotating this round to where it's going to go. It's basically going to go into these two holes at the top here, making sure that the oil filter that we had is facing us that way round. So it's facing up, probably best on the top camera like that. And this is just going to fit on like that there, and it's held in just with 2 BM screws. That's one, and here's the second one just here. Now you can see the importance of using glue on these pipes. You see I've just had a pipe fall out there, so I'm going to use something a little bit stronger this time. Got some super glue on it. No problemo. That's not falling out again. But there you go. Once you've done that, that's all there is to do in that stage. Before we do go though, we do have these 2 little cylinders here. We're not using them at the moment. That's for the next stage. So in stage 11, we're doing the left side of the engine block. Pretty similar to what we've just been previously doing. So once again, we're going to be pushing these 2 cylinder tops together. So one is metal, one is plastic. 1 and 2. And then just like last time with that little hole there, it's going to match the hole that we've got there like that, held in with an IM screw. So there you go. They're both in like that. Once again, we've got this middle section to put together. So I'm just going to line up these lugs. One's large, one's small, so it tells you which way round it's going to go in. And then just clip these together like that. And just like last time, again, we've got one large and one small lug. This is just going to go into the middle just here. Push that in so it looks like that there. Bring over the engine. And now on the open side here, just what we got here, we're going to be putting this into place. There you go. Perfect. And that's going to be held in with JM screws. So once again, we have got 2 holes just in the side here. This is the first one going in here. I'm using my bigger screwdriver here because I want this to go in really tight so it closes it all up. As you can see, this is actually a PH1 wearer screwdriver. And the second one's just going into this side over here. Excellent. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So taking a break from the engine now, in the last stage here, we're going to be building the fuel pump. And as you can see, we've got some sprues here. So it means we've got a little bit of fiddly work to do. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take this bracket here, which has got this spindle on the end. We want to take out this little gear here, which is going to go just on the end. Looks like a gear, it's got cogs in it. And that's going to be held in with a DP screw. Just into the end like this. Excellent. Then on one side of this, we've got a yellow plate to put on, which looks just like that. And that's just going to clip into these holes at the top. So push that in. There you go. On the other side of this, we've got a bracket to put on. This is what the bracket looks like here. And we want the raised side to be facing down over these lugs here. And that's held in with an AP screw. So one in this side. And then line that up a bit better. Just one in the other side. Perfect. We've got the other side of this casing looking like that to go on now. That's just going to go over the top of this section here. Like that. And then in this open side here, once again, we've got a yellow plate just to put in. Line that up. And push that on. Perfect. And then underneath here, we've got a bracket just to put onto that section there. that looks just like this, and that's just going to go onto the bottom like this. I'm just seeing if there's a way round it goes. It does go a certain way round. It fits way better that way. AP screw to secure that in. Now it's all about the detail here. So we've got an end to put on now, which again I've just got my tweezers to help me get that out, which looks just like this. That's just going to go over the end like this, and it's going to be secured in with some silver JP screws I've got here. And one of them insists on being stuck to my screwdriver, so it can go for a ride while I'm screwing it in. At least I know where it is when I need it. Perfect. And then just one in the bottom here. Quite funny. And then at the end we've got a fascia to put on. Again, I'm going to use my tweezers to help me get this out, which looks just like that. That's just going to clip into the holes just at this section here. Perfect. Now on the other side here, you see we've got a D-shaped hole. We've got another little fascia to put on, which is going to match that hole. That looks just like this. I'll get this in place. Push it on, and there we go. That's in place there. Now this whole section is going to go onto this intake cam cover here. If I just turn that upside down, you see we've got that ingress there. This is just going to go over the top, other way around, like this. So that you see that gear there is facing the pulley stem underneath. We're going to hold that in there just with some AP screws. That's perfect. And then just on that spindle underneath, we've got another gear to put on. I'll get this out. That's just going to go over the top, just like we did previously. And that's held in with one of the flanged DP screws. Perfect. So there we go. That's in like that. Now, fun job. We're going to be putting a belt just around this whole section here. So I've got that here, and it's going to go in just like that. A little bit of, try not to twist it. There we go. That's the belt on. Insane amount of detail, isn't there? Look at that. And now we're going to be taking the injector nozzles out. Now these are all on a sprue, so we're going to use our new sprue cutter to cut all of them out, and then we're going to systematically put them all into the top here. So it's the larger end that's being pushed in. And there we go, that's one in, and I'm going to repeat that for all the rest of them. And there we go. That's all the injectors in place. That's all there is to do in that stage, and that's all there is to do in that pack. So in this pack, we have got the injectors completed. We've got some more cylinder tops here, and the engine is certainly coming a long way, as you can see there. So that's taken me exactly 1 hour 15 minutes to do, so before the heat of the day starts. Now, I hadn't seen how a finished Porsche 917kh looks until I was at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, where I saw the Agora stand there. Just check out this little video here. This is the finished model, and this is what you're going to be doing after pack 12 of this. So pack 3 is going to be coming soon, but I really do hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.